other than being a country boy, that's the only survival skill I have. When the wilderness comes, I know a little bit of that. But so I've been reading about other people and their survival skills. I want to share a story with you. I was on history.com, actually. And I read the story of a guy named Ricky McGee. Of course, it was back in 2006, and he was driving in the Australian outback on his way to a new job when he picked up a group of hitchhikers, okay? I'm just going to say that's not always the wisest thing to do, but he did it, and pretty much the next thing he remembers, he's waking up in like a shallow grave out in the middle or outback wilderness with like dingoes scratching at the plastic wrapped all over him. I mean, just really weird situation. But he woke up, he was able to get out, he was unable to locate his car, and he was clueless about totally where he was, but miraculously somehow, Ricky survived 71 days in the outback wilderness. Eventually he said what happened was workers from a remote cattle ranch happened upon him, and he became just completely thin. He lost over 100 pounds. They took him to a local hospital, and they treated him for severe dehydration and malnutrition. And nobody really found out what happened to him, but the one thing we know for sure is one thing he was able to do that was credited with his survival is he was able to build a shelter. It was actually called a humpy, which is a little basic form of shelter, and it protected him from the elements, and he said he would stack rocks up around the edge of it to keep the dingoes out when he tried to sleep so they wouldn't try to eat him, and stuff. In his quest to survive, that was one of the most important things that he learned, and in our quest to survive, one of the most important things for all of us to know how to do is to protect ourselves from the elements. You can wear the right clothes, and you can employ some great strategy, but one of the best ways to survive is to be able to build and find the right shelter for protection. And the same is true in our lives. That principle scales over in social structure, or our shelter is often the community of people that we choose to live with, and the right people around us can protect us from so many things. When we're depressed, the right word from someone can carry us through. The right person can help keep us accountable. From when we're going through sin or being struggling with going things, we can be challenged by someone's example, or encouraged by their success or perseverance through a tough time, can really make all the difference in how we react to what's around us. The right people around us when we're hurting and down or need to recover really can make all the difference in our lives. So our structure, our community is important. And the right shelter, the truth is, the right shelter can only be found with people who understand the goal of being safe and what safety actually is. And for us, especially as Christ followers, that's following hard after God. I mean, we know that our safety is found in Christ. It's not in a circumstance. It's not having enough money. It's not having the right job.